Hey there, it's another beautiful day, so grab a cup and let's watch some stuff.
Yo, I don't know what's going on, but look, it's just a sidewalk full of birds. They're not even moving. Some are alive. That one just flew up to the window, but he's not even moving. But there's just a sidewalk full of dick freaking birds. I don't know what's going on, but I'm about to get the hell out of here.
At first, I thought, okay, maybe he's in San Francisco, because I know in San Francisco, like the pigeons, they just don't give a flying F about nothing. You can walk right up to them, you can probably drop kick them, they wouldn't care. Um, but they're different kinds of birds. They're not the pigeons. And I tried to look it up. I saw several other creators stitch with this particular video, and I can't find it. I can't find any information about it. So if you know anything about that, please let me know because I'm super curious to find out what it's all about. Thanks for joining me today. If you have a topic that you'd like me to cover, please let me know in the comments down below and I'll do my best to get it in an upcoming video. If you're having a good time, please hit the like button or consider subscribing and come back tomorrow because I'm making a new video every day.
This was the first musician to sell his soul.
Robert Johnson. Let's talk about him. Now, Robert Johnson was a known American blues musician and songwriter, and he was born in 1911 in Mississippi, and boy, does he have a story. Now, Robert was very mediocre. I'm talking about really not good at all, and several people stated that. He even knew that. So what he did was he took his guitar to the crossroads somewhere outside of Clarksdale near where he lived. He gave it to a man that he met at the crossroads, and he claimed that he sold his soul to the devil that night. He gave the man his guitar. The man tuned his guitar and handed it back to Robert. And after that, Robert was literally extraordinary. People stated, like, when he left, he was not good. But when he came back, he was one of the most known musicians in history. People would literally travel from everywhere just to hear this man play the guitar. Now, how you go from this mid guitar player to one of the best known? But the part that gets me is he went to the crossroads, and Papa Legba guards the crossroads. And Papa Legba is indeed not the devil. Now, many people believe that he was encountered with Papa Legba because he is who sits and guards the crossroads. But Papa also is who you have to go through to get to the other deities. But I just want y'all to know that he is not the devil. I don't know if that's who people are trying to, like, say that is the devil, but Papa Legba is not the devil. But whatever he did and whoever he encountered with, it helped him.
All right, so I had to look up Papa Legba. And apparently, in traditional voodoo, Papa Legba serves as an intermediary between God and the humans. So essentially, what I think she may be saying is that he didn't actually sign a deal with the devil. Perhaps what he did at the crossroads was meet with Papa Legba, give his life to God, and this was his reward. That's what it sounds like she's saying anyway.
One of the hosts of America's Got Talent posted a photo and people noticed something strange in the background. Looking closely behind her, you can see that some of the members appear to have distorted facial features, and on the right side as well, which have led multiple people to believe that this may be an AI generated crowd to hide their identity or fill it out more, while others believe that this may be part of the demon face syndrome that some are claiming to have witnessed. Now obviously this could just be a glitch with the camera causing people's face to look this way, but I do take into consideration that we've seen multiple glitches in the past that will glitch out a person's face specifically even though there's other elements around them, and some of these glitches will even target a person's eyes specifically, changing the color of their eye pupil or turning their eye pupil shape into a slit. Now this may sound crazy, but what if there are beings all around us disguised as humans but really aren't? And as people are becoming more aware and spiritually sound, the veil is being lifted and some people are starting to catch this demon syndrome and actually see these beings. Who knows for sure, but I want you to check out a clip of a strange glitch that was caught on TV and let me know what you think about all this in the comments.
Do you see that? Second set of eyes. I'm going to go back and show it to you. She even looks a little bit shocked, like, what did I just see? I think she saw it too.
95 y desde Ciudadanos su presidente Albert Rivera reprocha a Sánchez pactar sus cuentas con los partidos
Here we go.
que han reprobado a don Felipe.
So there it is, the blink. I'm going to do it in slow-mo now. There we go. It's like he had eyes in between.
A lot of these have been coming up lately where the faces are just distorted, not only in pictures, but also in like video, the one I showed of Congress about a month ago. And it's starting to get a little weirder, right? Because you're seeing it more and more and in like quick photographs where there's no time for AI to alter the photograph. I mean, maybe they are AI generated audience and the photograph was doctored to make it look like, oh, we have to doctor this before, you can post it on your social media. We have to make it look like it's a bigger thing than it actually is, or whatever the situation may be. And maybe it does just kind of get all dumb on the face. I don't know. But it is interesting. Maybe the camera frames aren't fast enough to quite pick up the subtle like differences in faces. They're just some trippy things, right? Especially when it's digital. It's digital. So there is no camera frames anymore. Are the cameras like possessed now? What's going on?
All right, guys, so we definitely have to talk about this. There are some huge correlations going on with Nostradamus' predictions for 2024. But first, let me just show you something. Just in case you didn't know, this guy's very credible. He predicted the Great Fire of London, the French Revolution, the rise of Napoleon, the coming of Adolf Hitler, both world wars, and the nuclear destruction of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, along with JFK's assassination, okay? So, and not to mention possibly the Twin Towers. But this is where it gets crazy, okay? First one, Prince Harry becomes king based on the phrase, who will have no mark of a king assuming the throne. Crazy, right? King's sick, Kate's sick. What's going on here? Second one, China wages war in a naval battle with the red adversary pale with fear, putting the great ocean in dread. Taiwan, anyone? Right? Next one. This is what I want to get into. Climate disaster rocks the earth. Experts point out this line. The dry earth will grow more parched and there will be great floods when it is seen, as referring to 2024. Let me show you this real quick. I found a map of the U.S. of basically what it would look like if there were massive earthquakes and the plates had shifted. And this is what it looks like. It's also the path of totality if it's not apparent. Obviously going up from Louisiana all the way up through the Midwest, up through New York to Maine. I mean, you guys, parched earth and then a flood with water. Crazy, right? Now, not to mention the last one here. A new pope will be installed in 2024. According to the predictions, through death of a very old pontiff, a Roman of good age will be elected. Of him will be said that he weakens his see, but long will he sit in biting activity, he wrote. So that makes a lot of sense because the Pope is very ill. But yes, you guys, this stuff is looking like it's really happening. So just a little something for you.
The predictions of Nostradamus have always been something that sat with me a little awkwardly. Because when I was young, I remember seeing a Nostradamus video and it scared the daylights out of me. And it's always resonated in the back of my head whenever somebody says Nostradamus and how he predicted this and predicted that. And I'm like, I'm just waiting because the video was profound. It was very devastating. But as far as the flood, I do think that everything he said sounds plausible, totally. But as far as the flood is concerned, I don't think it's America we need to worry about. I think the earth itself is considered a great desert in this translation. And it's going to be the shift. And there will be great floods. Everything will flood. I don't know. Just my prediction.
Okay, folks, I've been to CERN. CERN is very, very weird. I was actually there a couple of years ago when Russ Dizdar was still alive, well before COVID. So we're there at CERN and we're being taken by a docent who's like basically just parroting what he's been told to say. So we're in this place where the statue of Shiva is the Indian god of death, basically the destroyer. And I look at the docent and I go, what's this doing here? He has no answer for it at all. Basically, here's the bottom line, and this is something that we need to really delve into here. CERN is built on the site of the ancient temple of Apollyon. Tom Horn, who passed away last year, very untimely, wrote about this. So CERN is at this ancient temple. They're going to open up and start using CERN and testing it the day of the eclipse. I mean, what are we looking at here? Is that deliberate? In my opinion, it's absolutely deliberate. Something is going on. Here's what I think is going on. The powers that be, are opening up CERN in coordination with the eclipse to open up a gateway, a portal. And that's what I think these sites really are all about. Now, when you go to the Serpent Mound in Ohio, it doesn't look anything like CERN, but it's ancient. And it's just in Ohio. And it's the longest serpent effigy on the planet. Now, some people will dispute that, that's fine. But it's the one that I go to. And that Serpent Mound the serpent is undulating, and the serpent's mouth is open like this. Guess what? The whole thing is built on the solstices, the equinoxes. They're big into this. And these sites are charged. The site at CERN is charged. The Serpent Mound in Ohio is a charged site. If you want to know more, check out our On the Trail of a Nephilim series, number 3, Secrets of the Supernatural. Thanks so much for watching. I am L.A. Marzulli.
I find it very interesting. At the very end there, he did mention the Nephilim. The very first video that I did on the solar eclipse, there was a young lady who was explaining the cross points of the last eclipse and this one we're going to have, and how they're supposed to be like land of giants or something referring to the Nephilim. And there's supposed to be giants that are going to like awaken during this totality in that spot. So I think that's super interesting, and it's supposed to be happening in the next hour or so here. As far as CERN, as far as this whole CERN debate, it's going to be all day that they're running the collider trying to recreate this post-Big Bang stuff, right? Here in America, we're going to start experiencing this solar eclipse around 12 in the afternoon. That's when it's going to be starting, kind of, sort of, right? It's going to run, and it'll end like 3 something. That's what I'm seeing here. Like 12:30 to 3:02 is in Dallas. Okay. So that's just a portion of it in Texas. So it's going to get a little later throughout the day. But just think, at 12:30 in America, in Dallas, it's already going to be like 9:30 there, where the Hadron Collider is, p.m. You think they're going to stay up all night doing that crap just so that they can coincide with the solar eclipse? Yeah, I don't think so.
Is Russia attacking Americans' brains? Well, a new year-long investigation by 4 media outlets just linked a Russian intelligence unit to the infamous Havana syndrome, where U.S. diplomats across the globe and at home have been getting struck with piercing sounds in their heads at night, with this causing headaches, bloody noses, blindness, among many other things. And this investigation found that Russian intelligence could in fact be using a direct energy weapon on them, and has gone as far as to geotag Russian spies in locations at the time of the attacks. Now with this, Russia has denied the allegation, and the U.S. government continues to insist that it is very unlikely a foreign adversary is at fault. And currently, Havana syndrome is still officially a big mystery, with experts saying the U.S. has raised the bar too high to prove Russian involvement, but another expert saying that the bar is so high because what Russia is doing is a declaration of war, and saying you have to be very certain because your reaction will have to be second to none.
I love learning new stuff. You've heard me say it a million times, and I'm going to say it again. I have no clue what this means, what this is. What is Havana syndrome? I don't know. How is Russia involved? I'm going to learn some new things, and I'm excited. You're going to go with me? Here we go.
There is a mystery weapon that is attacking Americans that we know almost nothing about. Now, I know I sound like some crazy conspiracy theorist, but Havana syndrome is as real as it gets. It's called Havana syndrome because in 2016, officials at the U.S. Embassy in Cuba started experiencing some very unusual symptoms. They would hear this crazy sound that was like grating metal or like the windows rolled down in a fast-moving car, like whoom, 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 whoom. And then suddenly, they were hit with nausea, hearing loss, and memory loss that lasted for days or even months. At the time, many people dismissed it and said it was just mass hysteria or psychosomatic. The noise was crickets. But then they did brain scans and found that these diplomats had 5% less white matter volume in their brains, like a concussion without a concussion. The CIA has studied it, the University of Pennsylvania, even the CDC, and we have no idea what's causing this. But it's happened to over 200 Americans and a couple dozen Canadians, and we have no idea what it is or who's doing it.
So is that interesting or what? Like hundreds of American operatives and like a dozen Canadians? What? That is a very specific set of symptoms for them to all suddenly have, right? And they're thinking that it's Russia. There was a 60 Minutes episode that just came out a few days ago, I think. I think it was a few days ago. And they're saying that it might be Russia. So those are some fighting words. So you got to be careful with that. Then this happened. Check this out.
60 Minutes reported last night on a connection between anomalous health incidents and a unit of the Russian military intelligence service. What's the White House reaction to that report?
So I'm going to be really careful here. The intelligence community has not concluded that.
How can the administration continue to believe that when you have so many credible U.S. officials who have experienced this saying otherwise?
We have taken this very seriously. The president takes U.S. personnel. Making sure that they are protected is the most important. A couple of steps that we took, we prioritized investigations into the cause of AHIs and to examine reports thoroughly. Now, this is something that the president directed the departments in the federal government, obviously across the federal government, to do. Ensure that U.S. government personnel and their families who report AHIs receive the support and timely access to medical care that they need. And to take reports of AHIs seriously and threat to personnel with respect and compassion.
Sometimes I just want them to come out and say, yeah, that's what's happening. We're investigating that. That's what we think as well. And we're going to look into it. But they won't, because you have to deny, deflect. You have to soften it up. You know, make sure you put a little bit of empathy in there. We're worried about the families and all of this other stuff, but they never just come out and go, oh yeah, totally. That's what's happening. Russia. It's all Russia. We're on it right now. I just never do. One of these days, maybe. I don't know. That was fun learning about that. Thanks for joining me with that. Also, thanks for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate your time. And please come back tomorrow. I'm sure we'll have something not about the solar eclipse, because that's over. I'm sure by tomorrow it'll be done. And yeah, we'll be on to more important stuff. Have a wonderful day. Here's my cutting room floor.
3, 2, 1.
Hey there. Hey there. Hey there. I can't find where that was. Like, I looked it up and I keep getting other weird things. Do you know why that's happening? Because that is so weird. All right, so I had to look this up. Apparently, Papa Legba serves as an intermediary between God, and the humans. So perhaps when he went to the crossroads, he didn't actually sign a deal with the devil. Maybe he gave his soul over to God and God rewarded him. That's a possibility, isn't it? So the very first video I actually posted. Hi. Hello. They were saying like giants were going to come out of the ground or something like that, right? But he just said the Nephilim. And the Nephilim, or Nephilim, however I want to mispronounce it, those are giants. So it was just American CIA operatives. Is that what I got? Did a bunch of research, and they're saying that Russia's involved. I mean, and those are some hefty claims. You got to be careful when you're claiming that it's another country and you got to have all your ducks in a row before you go knocking ducks down, because that's serious claim style stuff right there. I don't think so. And then when it finishes, it's 3 o'clock, and then 9 hours or 8 hours after that, it's just too late to even think about stuff. They're not going to be doing that. But just to think, when it hits that apex point, it's probably going to be like way later.